Hey everybody, welcome to RefTime, powered by RTS and produced by Coraggio Media. I'm Tanya.
And I'm Crane. We'll be covering rules, plays, points of emphasis, and all things. You ready, Mr. Nabors?
Yeah.
And welcome to another segment of RefTime. We're here in our studio today with the wonderful, the great, the one, the only, James.
Neighbors.
Why you always do that?
I don't know. Why do you point at me like you want me to do it?
I know, but you gotta span it out.
The third.
Oh, good job.
I do
James Nabors III.
Yes, sir.
That's why you glanced. That's why he was glazing at me.
Yes, because he was
I
like,
didn't get
you
that
need
third
to
in.
add that on there. Yes.
So your dad would have my hide if I didn't put that in there, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I had an experience like in second or third grade. I didn't put the third on my homework.
Oh.
And I got a nice little whipping for it. Since that day, I put the third on everything. And I'm gonna teach the fourth that. So it's just a little tradition. That's all it is. He probably got it from his dad. So I think that's what it was.
So you have a son now?
I do.
Okay. How old is he?
5 months.
I was going to say,
So
he's
you-
still a
brand
baby.
new.
Yeah.
So you can't teach him the name thing yet.
Oh,
Well,
no.
he's learning it now.
Yeah.
I'm saying, but you can't whoop him because he don't.
Oh, no.
He can't write yet. So I guess
You know, he can't
I'm
write
getting a
yet.
little bit ahead of things.
Yeah.
What now? So his name is the fourth.
James Garrett Nabes IV. Yes.
James Nabors the fourth. And so this is a tradition that your family has enjoyed and they want to continue. So what's going to happen when they get to the 6th or 7th or 8th?
I hope it keeps going.
Right?
I always
hope it
wondered
keeps
that.
going.
Can you have a 10th or 11th? Or
Why
12th?
can't you?
It was like
I don't know a family that does that though. I mean, I'm not saying they don't exist.
Neighbor's family will be the first. So you heard it here first. Right?
There we go.
There you go.
Now, what's interesting, I had a meeting with him recently. It was a very productive meeting. I think we were there for a couple hours. And he told me that he's from Gary, Indiana area.
Originally Chicago.
East Chicago? Or
Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
Originally
Chicago.
Yes.
And then you moved to Gary?
We moved to a couple places. Calumet City,
Okay.
which is a suburb of Chicago, just east. And then, but I did most of my growing up in Northwest Indiana. So like Hammond, Indiana,
Hammond,
Maryville,
that's-
Indiana,
yeah.
and little parts of Gary, Indiana. Yeah.
You know what's interesting is my father, I was talking to him the other day, he's 90, and he was telling me that he used to do a lot of business when he was in the insurance business. He'd drive up to Gary and turn in his debits as he worked for the Chicago Metropolitan Life Insurance Company out of
Okay.
Gary. And he would say, he told me that up in that area, he said Gary back in that time was, I guess it was an industrious area, and it was really, really blossoming and booming. There was a lot of people, and now it's like ghost town. And you grew up in that area.
Yeah.
So
parts of it.
is it, when you grew up, how was it? Was it booming? Was it not so booming?
So I didn't exactly grow up in Gary, Indiana.
Okay.
It was just because all those cities, East Chicago, Maryville, Munster, they're in a sense like one big city how Fort Wayne is. So you go in and out of Gary when you go in different places.
Right.
Got friends and stuff. So I would spend time there as far as like going to hang out with friends and stuff like that, but never had family in Gary.
Okay.
But as far as being as close as, the Maryville, Hammond area, now it has its ups and downs. Like anywhere you go, when you grow up in a place or you're from a place, it's a lot different from what you hear on the news. Or if you go 200 miles away,
Right.
what people are saying about it.
Right.
So it's really one of those type of things. So
Now, I didn't know much. I would go up there with him, but as a kid, I didn't know much about that. I was just in the car. But
Okay.
he told me also that Merrillville, he said that wasn't a thing when he was I said, what do you mean? He goes, it wasn't there. I said, Dad, it had to be there. He goes, it wasn't much of what it is now. It was nothing like that. So I don't know the history of that area, but when we go up to Chicago and we go through Merrillville, because we have to go up that way a lot to visit our relatives, Merrillville is just a booming metropolis area
Yeah.
now. I mean, it's still building stuff up that way. So how long have you been in Fort Wayne, James?
I've been here in Fort Wayne for 3 years.
Okay.
3 years now.
And where'd you come directly from?
Came directly from Maryville.
Oh,
Maryville,
okay.
Indiana. I was a police officer, Indiana University Northwest, which is in Gary, Indiana.
Okay.
So I was there for 2 years as a police officer. That's also, Indiana University Northwest is also where I played collegiate basketball as well as got my 4-year degree from in criminal justice.
So should I talk trash?
No, so obviously that's what you're doing here in Fort Wayne then as well. You you just came over to Fort Wayne and joined the police
Yes.
force here. So
Yes.
you've been on the police force, what, 3 years
3
then?
years,
Okay.
yes.
So how's that going for you?
I love it. I love the city. I love the community. I just love the people in general. And I think it's a wonderful place to start a family and bring up my son, as well as just develop myself. You know, it's close enough where I can go back, 2.5 hour drive, go back in the day, but it's far enough away that you got to call me to come visit. Like,
Right.
you can't just show up, or you'll just be
Right.
driving around looking for me, you know what I mean?
Right.
So
Now, you noticed you said it took 2.5 hours to get back?
Yeah.
But, oh, well, I'm thinking Chicago, because it takes 3 hours. But I was thinking 2.5. On his speed, maybe, that's how fast he can make it back to Chicago. He in the cop car, so, they make up their own rules.
Can I talk trash now?
Sure, hun.
What you got?
What do you got?
Well, I never said this. I got to talk because he says he's a ball player.
Right.
That's what he says.
He played in college.
He says that he's a ball player.
Did you dunk?
I was close.
You were close?
I tried to dunk on a couple people, even though I couldn't. That was my mentality, but never could put it in the rim.
He had
like
that lion mentality. That's what I was saying. I think I would have dunked on you by accident. That's what I think.
You might caught me on the back screen. Maybe. Maybe on the back screen, I'm trying to help the big get over the screen. He can't recover, so I got to, it happens sometimes. They say the best ones get dunked on, so I
That's
feel
a
like
good
I'm one of
answer.
the best ones.
I got
You know what? I got to give you some of that. That was a good answer. That was a good answer. So you know Charles Smith. I think I asked you that before.
Yeah, I think
He's
we
from there.
discussed him.
Because he's in law enforcement, but not with the actual police. And him and I talk trash with Charles all the time, dude, because he played out of that area, but then he also went to Ball State.
Well, he was out of the Gary area.
Yeah, he came out of Gary
Yeah,
area.
that's where I think he was.
And I talk
raised.
trash to him or Ricky Jordan, and they both look at me like, Crane, you never dunked on me. But
Yeah.
your answer was very unique. You said, well, the best ones get dunked on. That's a great answer. That's a great answer, because I've been dunked on, and that makes sense now, the best
But Charles
ones
is
get dunked.
also an official in
Yes.
this area.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
another reason that we were bringing him up, because he is also in the law enforcement side, sort of, and then he also does
Yeah, he's been reffing
officiating.
for a number of
Yeah.
years. And which, that brings me to why we had invited you on the show, because you have the player background, and you have kicked off another, I guess, part of your business where you do 3-on-3 basketball tournaments. Let's talk about that a little bit. So where did that idea come from? How's it going? What are your plans for it? That kind of thing.
The idea came from just obviously growing up and playing sports, playing basketball, but just sitting around and watching all these YouTube creators and stuff and people like that have these 3-on-3 tournaments. And then since I've been here for the past 3 years, I haven't heard anything directly about men's 3-on-3 basketball. So that was my whole idea. I've played in a couple men's leagues here. I've played in a couple open gym runs, like on every Fridays we'll get together at open gym run, and nobody really talks about 3-on-3. It's either 5-on-5s or it's a lot of, like you all are bringing to the city as well for the youth. So that was my whole idea of it, trying to get some men in the gym, just have fun, pretty much just have fun, bring the city together and see who in Fort Wayne can hoop, because I'm not from here, so I gotta test the waters to see who can hoop. You know what
So
I
Now
mean?
you
do
say
you still play?
now you say you played in some leagues.
So you
So
still play?
which leagues have you played in around here?
I played in the league at Concordia
Seminary.
Seminary.
Played in that one.
That's probably one of the more popular ones.
Yeah.
Did you play at the one out west at, what's the YMCA out there? The
Jorgensen.
Jorgensen.
I played in a couple games out there, and then get together with a group of guys on Fridays and play at St. Luther and Michael, where I hosted the first
Okay.
3-on-3 tournament. And
Now, have you had the opportunity to play against Amish yet?
I have not, but
Have
I
you
heard.
heard?
I have heard.
Oh,
I have heard. Yeah.
they
Yeah.
run all day.
So we had our summer 3-on-3 tournament for the 3rd through 12th graders just a couple weeks ago, and we actually had 5, I think.
Was it 5 Amish teams?
I think we had 5 different Amish teams come out, which
And
was
last
kind
year-
of.
Last year we only had, what, 2?
Last year I think we only had the one.
One.
Last year we only had 1 Amish team, I'm pretty sure, and then this year we had I think 5, because
Now, I can tell
we had I think 3 in the older division, and I think we had 2 in the younger. Maybe it was only 4, but still it was like this is pretty cool. You know, we were really
Now,
enjoying
I can
it.
tell you, as officials, the one thing about Amish that we notice is they don't mind fouling.
Or
They
getting
play
fouled.
hard. Yeah, they play hard. And when they foul, and I'll turn to them and point, they go like this. I
raise
mean,
their
you're old school. Like, yeah,
Yep.
it was me. And I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I mean, they don't
They
argue
acknowledge
it.
it. Yeah.
They just
Okay.
acknowledge
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I hit him, ref. I had good call, ref.
I like
I hit
that.
him.
I like
Yeah,
that.
every now and then you'll get one that wants to question some things, but for the most part,
For the most part, they're very, very respectful.
very respectful, and just Energizer bunnies. When I know I'm reffing Amish, especially when they're playing each other, I'm
We
like,
get ready.
oh
We
God.
stretching out because we know it's going to be a run.
It's just gonna run up and down, up and down, up and
Unless
down.
it's a 3-on-3.
Unless it's 3-on-3, then I can stand still.
Now, the 3-on-3 you had, I got to tell you, man, we enjoyed doing
Yeah,
it.
it was fun.
We came in a ref for you, your 3-on-3.
Even
That
though
was
he
good.
got hot-headed.
I didn't get hot-headed. It was a reaction, and we handled it, and I ended up calling a technical foul on the guy, and he behaved after that. He knew, you do your thing, I'll do mine. The two shall not cross. But that was a good, strong 3-on-3. I enjoyed doing that, and I liked seeing the layout that you had, because that tells me potentially you have a good thing going.
Yeah.
In the future, you should be able to build something strong from that.
Yeah, you definitely had the, the perception. I mean, it was just beautiful.
Yes.
When we walked in, it was like, you had your staff at the front, you had your concession stand, you had people everywhere along the lines. And I know that when we were talking about it, it was mostly family, which is beautiful because that's even what we did. With our first one, we had family that came in and helped us out. And again, this year we still had family that came in, but this year we also kind of branched out and asked some of our church to come in and volunteer and stuff. So it was kind of neat. I still feel like that was family because it was still church,
So what are your plans with your 3-on-3? Where do you see it expanding out to?
I see it going globally. I would like to travel to different states. I would like to go to different countries with it. I like to set the bar high. Not give myself a ceiling, but knowing that, whatever you put your mind to, put God first, and you just grind and have that motivation, you can take anything anywhere. So that's the goal. And I got a good support system behind me. Grade 8 LLC, that's the name of the business, and the team that was with me during the basketball tournament. And like you mentioned, it's a family thing, and that's our motto. It's a family thing.
Yep.
So it's constructed of I have 7 siblings. It's 8 of us all together, nieces and nephews, and my mom and my dad. So it's once we're done with it and we can pass it down to somebody else, I feel like it's something that'll keep going, and it'll be a generational thing for sure.
I could tell the energy that was there was positive. I had a long conversation with your dad.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah,
I
he was
enjoyed
fun.
talking to him. He has a lot of energy. He says, yeah, what we're gonna do is the kids are taking care of this, but we're sitting there, we kind of backing them, we're watching them, and I'm going, oh, all right, they got a good solid thing going on here.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to come out and be a part of. So.
Yeah, and the location you have, the church, where is that again?
St. Michael's.
St. Michael Lutheran.
Okay, and you have a pretty good relationship with them.
Yes.
So you plan on holding more events at that site?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that'd be like the starting point where I would like to have a few more tournaments.
Just to build from.
Just to build.
Yeah.
Now you said you want to go global.
Yes, sir.
And then you say there's no limit. You realize that they're experimenting with flights to other planets right now, right? I'm just saying, I just thought I'd put that out there.
Yeah, I'll be if I'm the first.
You be the first one.
We're the first one on the moon, right? The first one.
I love it.
Sponsorship with NASA or something. That'd be nice.
So what do you do for a living here in Fort Wayne?
What do I do for a living?
What do you do for a living? You said it.
Police officer.
Police officer.
Yes.
And we already talked about that.
Discuss this.
But I wanted to find. I had a question on that. So you plan on making that a career too?
Yes, that's the main thing.
Okay.
Being a police officer and making that service and just being the best that I could be at that. But
And I heard you say you love it.
yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it.
There's people that think we're crazy. You love being a police officer. We love being officials. People think we're crazy. You know that, don't you?
That's right.
People think both are industries that we love.
Yeah.
Is crazy, but there's just something about it that you just
Yeah. People always
people
tell
from the
us.
outside can't see.
They're like, oh, I don't want to be yelled at. And I'm looking. I'm like, I don't hear most of what people say.
Because I'm focused.
Yeah, because I'm there, I'm focused on my job, and I'm sure it's very similar where you're just focused on your job. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. What Sally over here is saying is really irrelevant. So
the correlation between being a police officer and being a referee is, I think it's hand in hand. Because you all deal with a lot of the things as far as like verbally that we can deal with, you know, with people verbally. And unfortunately nowadays it's getting physical for refs.
yeah,
So
yeah,
gotta know how to defend yourself. But
Yep.
the biggest thing is being able to communicate and know how to talk to people. Because you can talk a lot of people off a ledge if you know what to say, when to say it, how to say it. So that's very important.
That reminds me, you and I were doing that meeting the other day at the library. I got to talk about that. We were sitting in the room having a meeting, and one of the employees walked in, and he just froze. He just looked at us, and we looked at him, and I said, you know, you have the room, and he goes, yeah, and he said some things that I looked at him like negative things. I just looked at him. And I said something about, well, we'll go ahead and we'll check out. And he never said a word. And I admired that. And I asked him, I said, you never said anything. Well, he said, I've learned. He said, maybe it comes to me from police work, but if somebody's talking crazy to me, I just don't say a word to them. I just look at them. He said, I just look at them. And that sends a message and makes them realize the craziness just come out of their mouth and maybe they'll hear themselves. And I thought about that, like, that is a good approach to dealing with people, especially as an official. And we have this thing in the officiating world called AIP, answer questions, ignore comments, and penalize stupidity.
I like that.
So, yeah, and I've focused on that lately. And, you know, coaches talk to me.
Lately, right?
Yeah. Because I didn't,
Lately.
with age, things come to you in terms of wisdom. But lately I've been focused, because I've always had it in my head, but I just never focused on it. But I think lately, for some reason, I've gotten wiser. I'm just, okay, that was just a comment. Okay, I can ignore that. He didn't ask me a question. I can ignore that. Penalize stupidity? It was on the verge of stupidity. I'll let that go.
Yeah, we had a gentleman come up to us. I shouldn't even say gentleman, but he came up to us. Now, mind you, we were doing game after game after game, so we didn't really have breaks. And did 6 games this past Saturday, and my daughter and I are taking our little 2-minute break for halftime. We sit down. Next thing we know, this guy comes over from some other court, comes over to us, and he's like, you know, and he's looking at my daughter, and he goes, you know, that was my nephew that had your ball, and you know, it was just unnecessary for the way that you talked to him. And so he kept going, and we just sat there and listened to him. And all she had said to him, because he came and picked up the ball. Like, she set the ball down, he came and picked the ball up and took off with it, was dribbling it. Now, it wouldn't have been so bad if he just stayed right there, and you know, but first of all, it's not even your court. It wasn't your ball. Teach your nephew not to touch other people's stuff. Maybe that should be the lesson.
Right.
Instead of you coming at us and you're unhappy with the way that she said, hey, you know, I need my ball back and don't touch my ball again. You know, yeah, maybe she should have been a little nicer about it, but the reality is leave the ball alone.
You know, that reminds me of what you were saying earlier about police work and officiating work and how they're similar. What do you guys think? I see, in my 30 years of officiating, I've seen a change in people at least in America, not wanting to take responsibility.
Oh,
and that's
major,
what it sounds like.
Major.
The uncle
Absolutely.
didn't want to take responsibility of his failure to teach the kid what he should or should be doing.
Right.
So what do you guys think in the officiating world,
Absolutely,
the police
100%
world?
people don't want to take responsibility. They want to pass the blame. It's okay for them to say something to me, but if I say something back, well, you're supposed to be the adult. You're supposed to be
the professional.
You're supposed to be the professional. Okay, but I'm still a human, and I still have emotions. I still have feelings. So I'm just supposed to let you treat me any way you want to, and I'm not going to say anything back. And and you know, that was the thing. I mean, I was sitting there, I was listening to this guy go off on my daughter about it, and both of us sat there for a minute, and we listened to him, and she was like, okay, thank you. And then he kept going, well, you're not going to disrespect me. You're not just going to do it. And I was like, and then I was like, my mama bear came out, and I was like, okay, you've had your say, you're done, go on back. Well, you're not going to, no, you're going to go. We're done. You know, this is our little 2-minute break, and you're interfering. Well, I don't care. Well, I don't care about you either. Have a good day.
Did you say that?
Yes. Yeah, because I mean, he just wouldn't stop. And then as he was walking away, he kept turning around like he wanted to come back and say something. I'm like, dude, if you come back over here, I'm going right over there and I'm going to go get the man in uniform.
Yeah.
And I don't mean the man in stripes. I'm going to go get the one that has the gun.
So from a police officer's perspective, what do you see in terms of people not taking responsibility in society?
I agree. And it's unfortunate that no matter what age people are, it's like, how can I put the blame on somebody else? And all the time when I interact with somebody, and it might not be the best interaction, but it's my fault. Why am I here? Maybe I'm here to try to make your day better, overall. But if there's a problem, maybe I can help you fix it. Maybe I can help the issue. And a lot of times we get called to different places in different houses, and we're the ones that's parenting the parent. We're the one that's parenting the kids. And that's what it's unfortunate when people call, but that's what I find the most enjoyable. That's what I love the most about the job. Being able to go into a situation I know nothing about, never met you a day in your life, but I could walk away saying, that person might remember me for something good, or that person might remember this officer for something good because the last one wasn't that good. So that's always my interaction and trying to.
And I think that's one of the things I always, when my daughter and I are working together, him and I are working together, when we step out on the court, we take it serious, even though it's AAU or a 3-on-3 or, a league. We step out and hey, you need to tuck your jerseys in. Hey, you need to take your jewelry off. We go ahead and we govern it as it is a real game.
Right.
Because to us it is. It's a time for me to get better. It's time for you to get better.
Absolutely.
And I'm not making you any better if I don't make you apply. If I don't apply the rules. So.
Speaking of rules, first question for you,
Lordy.
Oh, we got a Q&A.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
See, this is your reward.
Okay.
You don't get to touch it unless you get the answers right. Okay.
Right.
Question number 1. Now, if you'd been earlier, you could have heard this, but I'm gonna read it anyway.
Read a different one.
No, he hasn't heard it.
Come on with it.
The people have.
Well, they have to hear it again. Okay. A player is disqualified if he or she has been charged with 1 technical foul and 4 personal fouls. Is that true or false?
And the rules change so much, but I would say that technical foul counts as a foul, so it'll give them a total of 5, which a 5th foul is disqualifying, right? It disqualifies a player from a game. So I would say yes. I would say that technical foul will.
So you say that's true?
True.
Ding,
Hit
ding,
it.
ding, 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 ding.
Let's see.
All right.
Take those. I like the peanuts and the
Nice
M&Ms.
snacks for, out
Right.
on the job, right?
Right.
All right. The second question is.
Oh, I thought we were doing random questions.
We are, but I'm getting, he's on a roll. So you gotta give him. A player need
I'm telling Brittany.
A player need only have the front of the team jersey tucked in to be eligible to participate. So he only has to tuck in the front, not the back.
Is that true or false?
That's false. We got to be professional and tuck it in all the way around.
Is that the way you play?
Yes, sir.
Ding, 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 ding. You get some more
Absolutely.
candy, man.
Yeah, you
Now
gotta
you
have
can
that
take it home to
professional
your
look.
little
Hey, what they
five-month-old.
say, you look good, you play good.
That's right.
That's what I say.
That's right.
That's what I tell
And I know
them.
when you're out on the street as a police officer, you got it tucked and looking shining and smooth, and that helps.
Yeah,
When you walk
absolutely.
in, you look professional. As an official, I walk in, look professional. That helps. If I got my shirt all hanging out the back, people just look at it like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's one of those.
when Sydney and I were reffing the other day, so we had, a 3 or 4 game. We were getting ready to start our next game or whatever, and we get out there, and I'm on the end line, and she's out there, and she goes, "Mom, your shirt." Oh, no. I had to hurry up and tuck my shirt in. I didn't even realize I had untucked it. But I must have gone to the restroom or something, came back and didn't tuck it back in. But she knows that I want my stuff tucked in. So
Because it matters.
It does.
It
I
just
think-
makes our job a lot easier.
yes,
if
you look more
professional.
professional. You behave more professional.
So did we look professional when we came and did your 3-on-3 for you?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
You probably would have asked us to leave if we did now.
Yeah, he'd have been like, "Go tuck your stuff in, bro."
So do you have any immediate plans for your next 3-on-3? I mean, do you have a date or anything?
We don't have a date yet, but we for sure want to have it back home, which would be the Maryville, Hammond, Chicagoland area. That's where I'm from.
Speaking of which, I don't know if I told you what he said when him and his brother, and I remember this, you and your brother were standout players, him in football, you in basketball in the area. And their name, people knew him as, they called him, remember? I told you? They call him Nabes.
Nabes.
Yeah.
Nabes. You thought I forgot that, didn't you?
I thought you did forget it.
Nabes. So his last name is Nabors. Everybody called y'all Nabes.
Nabes, yeah.
So y'all were known for. Now, were there any other sports you guys are known for besides basketball and football?
It's basketball and football.
Man, basically.
Basketball and football.
I thought did you guys say you played baseball earlier?
So growing up, like all parents, you want to put your kids in all the activities,
Yes.
all the sports.
Right.
So we played basketball, baseball, and football. All the boys up until 8th grade is when we stopped playing baseball. My older brother continued playing football through high school, and then I continued playing basketball through high school and college. I wanted to play baseball my freshman year, but the high school that I went to, Bishop Knoll, we was really good in basketball. So it was like once the basketball season is over, you either training or you playing AAU. That was the coach's mindset. Did he have 2 sport athletes? He had one guy, Larry Chrysler. He was really good. He actually got drafted out of high school. So
Wow.
he played 2 sports. He played basketball and basketball. But I think I could have probably got drafted to the MLB if I'd have continued playing baseball.
Yeah.
You know, so
What was your position?
a little shortstop, anywhere in the outfield, quick low to the ground. So pick up the ones that's hit to second, in between second and third base, pick those up and
So you were known for your speed.
speed. Yeah.
Okay.
It might put me in steal a base or 2, something like that.
So in basketball, you were known for speed as well?
Speed as well.
More offense or defense?
More defensively.
Defensively. I can see that. Yeah, I hate little guys coming around smacking me. Refs don't call it.
Yeah, poor guy. He's still got scratches.
And y'all gone with the ball, and I'm looking at the ref like this, and he looking at me like, let's go.
Kind of like how you look at him now, huh?
Pretty much.
Yeah,
No whistle, keep it moving, buddy.
I prided myself on defense and being a talker.
You one of those.
Not
trying to get in the head.
No, not talking smack, but
just talking to your team?
yeah,
being
screen
a floor
coming
general.
right. Yeah,
Okay.
being a floor
okay.
general and just
Yeah.
being that coach on the floor.
Yeah.
That's what I prided
No,
myself.
actually, I love that because
Yeah.
when I played, I was a quiet player. The big guys that talk trash to me, I just look at them like I'm going to bust your rump with this jumper.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Or the elbow.
Yeah,
Right.
I threw the elbows. And then they have a little guy on my team who would do the direction. Because y'all, the thing about the smalls is you guys did, and a big taught me, a guy who played pro, he says, think about it, Crane. He said, when you run up down the court, don't run all out here and do all that stuff you're doing. He said, you just go like this. He said,
Yep.
we
Up and
carry
down.
more weight. He said, the smaller guys, they carry less weight, so they can outrun us, they can run fast, they can run further, conserve energy. So, yeah, good stuff. Okay, one more question before
All
we
right.
cut off. 'cause we
Quick,
got 1 minute.
quick.
Real quick question. All right, 39399. A team member may wear jewelry provided he or she does not become a player. Stop looking at my answer.
Like on the sideline.
Yeah. A team member may wear jewelry provided she or she's not playing. So if they're a player and they're on the bench, they can wear jewelry. Yeah, true or false?
I would say no. I would say false.
Okay. He had that look on his face like, this
I
is a
would
dumb
say-
question. I don't even know why it matters. But as officials, we got to enforce all that. You're
Okay.
correct. It
Okay.
is
So
False.
it's like a JV player sits on the varsity bench, even though they think they're not going to be able to play.
still can't wear jewelry.
But if they're in uniform and
In uniform,
yeah,
okay.
then they can't
Ding,
wear.
ding, ding. You
Yes.
get Memphis candy.
All right, so we're going to wrap up
All right.
and tell everybody about our reftrainingschool.com.
RefTrainingschool.com.
All right.
Gotta say it. Whisper.
RefTrainingschool.com.
Ooh, I like the way you
Nice
did that.
job.
That was
So check us out. Check us out online for any upcoming dates. Also, we have our 3-on-3. Next tournament's going to be on September 28th at Smith Academy for Excellence.
Okay.
And
And
they're out on Reservation Drive. I remember that.
Yes.
I think it's 1819 Reservation Drive. It's a
Sounds
brand
good.
new school, huh?
I said, that sounds good. Whatever you said. Also, The next tournament after that will be our Hoosier Holiday
Hoosier
Hoops.
Holiday Hoops. It'll be on
New Year's
Eve at Turnstone again.
Yes, so we're looking forward to that. Check that out on Hoosier3on3.com.
Gotta get you to come out and watch one of our tournaments, man. Give us some feedback.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there to support.
Great.
Any
All
way
right.
I can.
Well,
for
thanks
sure.
for joining us, man. We appreciate
Yeah.
having you
I
on
appreciate it.
Nabes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Join us for our next segment of Ref Time. Take care, everybody.